kids, and I work with kids who are abused. And so my main motivation is making sure that kids in our county are safe and taken care of. That's important to me, as well as being a part of this county in general. So that's my motivation.
And what are you passionate about changing Canton?
I am very passionate about downtown, the arts district in general. I live right over there. I live right catty corner from the Palace Theater on the 3rd floor. I moved my husband and my daughter here, so we raise a family in downtown. The arts district, just this major downtown area is my huge passion. And renovating that and so that we can have a true downtown area, that's my biggest passion, what I want to change.
So you think the arts movement will build up downtown Canton and help it?
Absolutely. I think that's a huge part of it. All the art galleries, have you been around to see all the art galleries?
Yeah. Trash cans.
I have a saying, and actually it came from a movie, and I can't remember the name of the movie at the moment, but the saying is, if you build it, they will come.
Field of Dreams.
Field of
Yep.
Dreams, that was
I was
it.
just going to say that. Yep.
And that's the way I feel about downtown Canton and the arts district. If we can bring people here and bring businesses here and sustain that and have living here and grocery shopping here and movies here, that's the kind of vibe that we want for downtown.
Did you grow up in Canton?
I did, well, for the most part, about 25 years.
And that's where your passion comes from, is just
Yeah, and I love the arts, and I love just the downtown living feel, and so this is my home, this is where I belong, so it's my big passion.
So how many kids are you working with daily? Do you see just a couple a day or?
We see over 600 a year, but we have 3 slots per day. There could be multiple kids in each slot, so there's a potential to see anywhere from 3 to 8 children a day. And they're the bad cases. They're not they're the bad ones. We won't go into exactly what. They're bad.
So how did you decide why you wanted to work with abused kids and to help them? Just because you grew up here, or is there another reason?
That's a good question. I'm the director of the agency, which means I do the administration part of it. I'm the business person. So the rest of our team, and we have about 35 people from all different disciplines, law enforcement officers, social workers, prosecutors, medical staff, mental health. We have all those people that deliver the services to the kids and their families. My motivation is I'm a business person, so I want to run a business. And whether that business is taking care of kids or selling popsicles, whatever it is, I want to run a business. And I want it to be somewhere, hopefully downtown.
Yeah. And so you wanted to do downtown stuff in downtown Canton because you have a passion for business and helping kids.
Are you two related? You look like you could be
They
related.
could be. Cousins, I thought.
So how old are you?
I am 14.
14, and you're 12. Do you go to different schools?
I'm homeschooled, so
You're homeschooled? You go to Hoover? Wow. And do you like this so far?
yeah, it's pretty fun.
How did you hear about it?
Joel sent an email to me and said, Hey.
And did you know Joel prior to?
Yeah, he was my youth pastor for 2 years.
Okay.
Middle school, yeah.
And how about you?
Well, my dad knew him because they both worked with me. My dad just told me.
And are you excited? Do you like it?
Yeah.
What do you hope to get out of it? I'm going to ask you questions. What do you want to get out of this? What's your goal?
I don't know.
You don't know? Not yet?
I just want to learn something new, something I didn't know before. Anything different doesn't really matter as long as it's new and something that I learn.
Good for you. I'm sure you'll come up with a good project. And I will also be there on Saturday.
So let me ask you one more thing, Michelle. It sounds like your passion is more about Canton than specifically about, you're saying you're passionate about running a business and about Canton itself, but it didn't matter to you what kind of business it was?
No, I had absolutely, I don't want to say no desire, but this job came to me. I've never worked with children before. I've definitely never dealt with severely abused children. Not something that I ever saw on my radar. But it was a job that came open through my agency, which is Job and Family Services. And they said this would be perfect for you. And I'm like, really? And it's a good fit. It is a good fit. I mean, I don't do direct services.
I was going to say, so she doesn't directly, the work you do impacts the children, but
Right.
not in a direct.
I keep the doors open. That's good. It's nice meeting you.
What motivates you to like in your job?
In my profession, I just love my job. I'm an architect, and it's just a very gratifying profession. It's start with a blank piece of paper like an artist. The only difference is you're designing something that people actually live in, they work in. You know, you have the opportunity to design basically the biggest products in the world. It's just really exciting, the people you meet.
So what's your coolest thing that you built? Like,
The coolest thing, I mean, we've done a lot of really special residential projects. I mean, I've had a lot of great opportunities with very rich clients that do cool things. I've had clients that have their own Lear jets, and we fly around the country looking at projects. We're part of a great institute. We're doing a new symphony building for the Kansas Symphony Orchestra. A lot of great educational projects. We do a lot of educational things. We've done football stadiums.
what are you passionate about in changing Canton? Like, what are you passionate about?
I've been involved in 3 main areas: arts, education, and students. I'm involved in a lot of committees, a lot of organizations. I chair one of the youth organizations downtown, and I think just really trying to improve the quality of life and the students and the environment. I mean, I've been involved a lot in the environmental changes down here. At one time, Market Avenue was deserted. I mean, it just was nobody here. And if you look now from the cultural center down to the repository, every building's filled, and I've been involved in a lot of that as far as helping to make that happen. So I think just making Canton a positive part of the county, and we look at Canton as an apple. Again, it's the center of Stark County, and if it's rotten, the rest of the county will be rotten. So we really focus on Canton.
And so do you think like the art movement in Canton and all the projects and stuff, do you think that that'll help?
I think it contributes.
rebuild?
I mean, yeah, it helps. I mean, we're trying to do positive things, the arts, the restaurants downtown, the businesses coming downtown. We're starting to get housing downtown. So we're trying to get the overall formula for people to want to come downtown, to basically work, play, and live. Those 3 things. And that is starting to happen, and it's becoming very successful. People want to come here and participate. It's just changing perspective, perception of it. I mean, people think it's unsafe. The fact is, if you look at safety records, there's more theft in Belden Village parking lot than there is in downtown Canton. I mean, stuff that people don't know, but you're more in danger in Canton, in Belden parking lot than you are downtown.
That's pretty remarkable.
It is. I mean, it's just that Jackson does a better job of covering it up. The police department.
How did you decide you wanted to do what you did?
As an architect, I decided in 8th grade I wanted to be an architect because I had a great art teacher and a great drafting teacher. And my family was friends with another architect who was like a mentor. He did work for my parents, and I got to know a person who was an architect. Architecture is a weird profession. People know what accountants do and what teachers do, but some professions you really don't know. And I had the opportunity to learn early. And I just liked that. So I mean, once I knew in 8th grade, I just focused on that all the way through.
And so what do you mainly do as an architect?
As an architect, you meet with clients, either individuals, corporations, nonprofit, and you help them go through the process of starting with usually nothing or an existing building, so that you transform it into a new building or a remodeled building of what their current needs are. Again, building something new or remodeling, and we're the ones who design it. We work with the contractors and all the aspects it takes to build a new building.
Okay, so.
And you work with different people. I mean, just we're the architects that did everything over at Fawcett Stadium. And if you've ever seen the big press box there, it's like probably the best press box in the country. But we worked with the NFL, we worked with ESPN, we worked with NBC Sports, and then we hire consultants. And for all the technology in that building, I got to hire a firm from Atlanta that did like 5 of the Olympics, their technology. So you meet with cool people, you do these things.
Okay, so I was just about to ask a question. So you meet with the people, and then you design all the layouts
That's
and
what
stuff?
our firm does, yeah.
Yeah.
My office is upstairs, and we have a whole staff up there that basically designs the project, like the ideas, and then you actually do what we call construction drawings to build it from, and to do like a school. I mean, we have a real thick set, of every little detail in the building, and so yeah, we design it and basically follow all the way through with the construction of the project.
Okay, so you get to work with all the cool blueprints.
The blueprint, yeah, we do the blueprints, we do them, and we monitor the construction.
Is there any particular reason why blueprints are blue?
Blueprints aren't blue anymore. Those are the old. It used to be blueprints were done with ammonia through a blueprint machine. Everything we do now is on CAD, the electronic CAD drawings, and we use what's called a plotter. It's just like a big printer, and we can plot drawings that are just like the size that can have behind you, and they're basically black and white now or color.
So, do you ever need to color them?
Yeah, we can do that too.
And
Yeah,
stuff?
but it's everything's electronic, and we still do renderings. One of my consultants is a guy from Russia. He lives in Leningrad 6 months out of the year. He lives in Stowe 6 months out of the year. He goes back and forth.
Stowe, Ohio.
Stowe, Ohio. But I work with him when he's in Leningrad as if he was in my office. He used to work in my office, but everything's so electronic now and so connected that he does my renderings out of his little apartment in Leningrad, and you think he was in my back room. It's a very connected world.
Yeah, I've considered it'd be cool to be an architect.
It is cool. I mean, it is a cool profession. You got to be very creative and very diligent.
Yeah, something that you can use your creativity.
Right. Do you know who Thomas Friedman is? He wrote The World's Flat. He's kind of a writer, philosopher, and he just wrote an article on the future of universities, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And the future of universities, basically, he's got a daughter going to Stanford, and he talks about how expensive it is. And he talks about how universities may disappear.
Nice to meet you both. And I know Paul.
Yep.
I am at your mercy. What kind of questions would you like to ask me? And what can I tell you about Refuge of Hope?
So what motivates you about working at Refuge of Hope?
Honestly, we're a rescue mission, and we help homeless people and feed hungry people. I've looked at my life and realized that I have been very, very blessed in my life. Not because I deserve that or I'm more than that. God has blessed me in my life, and I want an opportunity to give back and help other people that haven't been as blessed. And Refuge of Hope, I think, gives not only me, but our staff and volunteers, everybody, a chance to give back to others that haven't been as fortunate. So I feel I've been very blessed, and I think any of us, all of us, when we're blessed, we should bless others.
What are you passionate about in changing?
The things that we deal with. We deal with three very bad issues: hunger, homelessness, and poverty. And I guess it's been a little bit of a surprise to me since I took the job how many people in this community fit into one of those three categories. In Canton, about 1 in 3 people in Canton live at the poverty level or below. So, what we would like to do at the Refuge Hub is get rid of poverty, get rid of hunger, get rid of homelessness. And I know that's a big task to do that, but the bottom line is you got to start somewhere. And so we're helping a really lot of people. For example, in the last couple of years, we've gone from feeding 14,000 meals in a year to last year we did just under 69,000 meals that we fed to hungry men, women, and children in this community. We have 34 beds in our shelter, but we're sleeping 45 guys every night. We have cots and everything like that. And we're able, for those people, to give them a chance to get their feet on the ground and hopefully get back and have a productive life. We like to say we don't offer a handout to people, we offer a handout. We want to help people that live in dire circumstances right now be able to change their life. And one of the key ways you do it is if you haven't had a good meal, you haven't had anything to eat for 2 or 3 days, and we have people who come to us like that, it's pretty hard to think about anything else. So one of the things that we can do is help in the meal ministry, help people get nutrition, get good meals. And believe it or not, just think about it. If you can come and get a free meal and you don't have to pay for that food, that money that you save, you can use it maybe to pay for your utilities or your rent or for gasoline and that type of thing. So that's what we're doing, and that's how we feel we affect the community and how we feel we can be a positive in the community.
Okay, so you said there were those 3 issues that Canton deals with. If you could fix if you could fix all 3 of them, but it had to take time between each one, which one would you fix first?
Poverty. And because I think if you fix poverty, the other 2 you're gonna fix the other 2. Poverty are people that are living with not enough money to make it through a day, a week, a year. So if you can fix that problem, if you can say if you have a family of 4 and no one in that family has a job, so they don't have any income coming in, pretty soon they can't afford a place to live, they can't afford food. But if you can fix that, then they're going to have income, and then they're going to be able to feed their family, they're going to be able to have a place to support their family. And so I think if I could fix any one of them, I would certainly attack poverty. And it's a very, very complex subject. It's not as easy as just saying, here, we're going to give you a bunch of money, so now you're not in poverty anymore. That doesn't fix the problem a lot of times. There's a whole bunch of underlying issues and a bunch of reasons why people live in poverty, how they got there and why they live there. And you have to fix those root problems. And to me, the best way to deal with that is to start dealing with kids your age, where you can say to kids your age, listen, regardless of what life is, regardless of where you live, if you live in poverty, wherever, you do not have to stay there. There's opportunity, there's chances for you to get out of that lifestyle and succeed. And that's one of the things that will help break poverty. It goes in a cycle a lot of times. And that's one of the things that will help break that cycle, is for young kids coming up through school systems and everything to realize that no matter what my life is like, I've got the opportunity to succeed, and I've got the opportunity to break that cycle. So that's why I would attack poverty first.
Which one do you think the Refuge of Hope helps most?
Well, in numbers, it's no doubt the meal ministry. For 4 years in a row, we have served more meals through September than we served for the entire previous year. So in other words, the growth of hunger is so high, we're serving more meals in 9 months than we did the previous 12 months. We've done it 4 years in a row. So if you think about serving 69,000, just under 69,000 meals, that's helping a lot of people. And we help, if you come down and sit there when we serve a meal, you're going to see men, women, children, you're going to see black and white, you're going to see old and young, you're you're going to see every kind of variation you can think of. And to know that we're able to 6 times a week give anybody that comes to us a good, hot, nutritious meal, that's a good feeling. And so I think we've probably served their mode just because of the numbers of opportunities that we have to serve. So.
Okay, so what are you I already said that. How did you decide to do what you do? Like, did you want to do this when you were our age?
No, I didn't. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to do it when I was my age, a couple years ago. I'm going to be honest, I really respect you guys because when I was your age, I didn't worry about community things. I mean, I wasn't wealthy when my family wasn't, but we always had enough to eat and clothes on our back. And I didn't think about poverty or homelessness. And that's shame on me. You know? But as I got older, I started looking around the world that I lived in, and I started looking at myself. And I started to realize how blessed I've already been in my life. And so I'm just a big believer. If you live in a community, if you're blessed, you need to bless others. Whether it's an individual blessing or if you're a company, you should bless the community that you work in. And so God gave me this opportunity. It's been the best job I've ever had.
Isaiah.
That's correct. And what are you passionate about changing in kids?
The misconception about poverty. It really gets me angry, actually. I've had actually pastors tell me that they have welfare and they abuse it, and I'm not saying that doesn't happen because I've seen it. But the real misconception of poverty is what breaks my heart.
So like how people think, like what is the misconception of poverty?
Misconception, and I think I'm just finding it out too, so that's a really good question. The misconception is that the government will take care of people that live in poverty. And in essence, and this isn't political, the government's done a terrible job. It seems to me that they oppress people to keep them there, and there's really no transition out. There really isn't. That's the biggest misconception. And the other misconception I see right now with our families is what they get from the government is enough. I know what it used to cost me to feed my teenagers, and I could not do it on what most of our moms get. Just kidding. And the misconception that they all have beds in nice houses is
Big TVs and great cars.
most of them don't have TVs or internet or anything, but the bed thing really bothered me because I know when we went to Ecuador, we helped families get beds. And when we first started we only had 15 kids, but out of those 15, 12 of them did not have a bed. They slept on the floor. And you don't hear that. You won't see that anymore, but yeah, that's kind of disturbing. Like I said, the misconception of poverty, and really it starts with all of us that don't live in poverty to know and find out what the real thing is. Lots of statistics are coming out that really blew me away. 61% of all Ohio kids will be hungry this summer. That's too many.
60?
61%. And just like child trafficking, everybody says, oh, that happens in other countries like India.
Do you guys know what that is?
Do you know what child trafficking is?
Give away kids and stuff.
Well, they don't give them away now. What happens is kids that are vulnerable that live in poverty most of the time, are out walking around or whatever, and they're vulnerable, and someone will say to them, would you like clothes and a place to stay and food? And they say yes. And I don't know if you watched the news, but in Cleveland there were 3 young ladies that were trafficked. They were with their guy for 10 years. 3, and they were all captured at age, I want to say 12 or 13. Does that sound right? So the misconception there is, that happens to those kids.
So they're being held in slavery. Sometimes it's sexual slavery, and sometimes it's
And to find out the statistics for that, the light blow away is Toledo is the #1 in our nation for child trafficking. Did you know that?
no.
So it's just Toledo, Ohio. And what the statistics also say is kids that are most vulnerable live in poverty because of their situations. And the area that we serve, the one school, is 98% poverty. So do you think they're at risk? Yeah. So those are some statistics that just came out recently that kind of blew me away too.
How did you decide you wanted to do this job?
It's a Well, I've always worked in children's ministry at churches in the area, in the city. And one time we opened our gym at Dewberry United Methodist Church, and 100 kids showed up. That made church people really nervous. In a good and bad way. It's just a lot of kids and a lot of kids with problems in their life, and the church just couldn't handle it. So then I went to Refuge at Hope and worked for a year doing ministry with inner city kids. And they said to me, which is a good idea, you need to start something here, and you got really something good going on. You start.
So did you know, like, did you think that you would want to have done that like when you were our age or in high school?
High school, I went on a mission trip to Jamaica, and like I told most groups, I really went because it was Jamaica, not why. Sounds like a cool place. I lived with 7 sisters and brothers in Botswana, so I wanted out of there. But God started wrecking my heart there. But I really wasn't listening because I fell in love at 18. You know how that goes. But got married, started my own family, and little by little, because I always liked ministry, children's ministry. Little by little, God just kept wrecking my heart. I think once I started having kids and feeling very blessed, and they could afford things that a lot of the kids that I knew couldn't, God started bringing me back to the city. If that makes sense. And I think when I went to Dewberry, where it's in the southwest of Canada, God started showing me, this is where I want you to be. And I was just obedient to the call. It's just history.
Are you more passionate about more like Canton or serving kids and helping kids?
More Canton, I think. I think because I grew up here. And like I said, St. Paul's is where you visited. I grew up in that church, so I have a heart for the city. My family grew up in Canton. So I believe it's that.
But you're not saying Canton over kids. Are you saying Canton kids?
Canton kids.
Yeah.
Same thing. That's really good. But I do work with moms now, and I never thought I would. So that's been a change for me. It's been good.
What do you think about the art movement that they're doing? Like, do you think it'll help rebuild Canton?
Yes, I do. I'm not much in the art field, but I do know that we have an art teacher on our staff, and I see how it's phenomenal. She is phenomenal. I see how it's transformed the lives of our kids, and even our moms now, since she's offering art to her mom. Oh, it's just awesome. So yes, I can see where it would revitalize the city for sure, but more importantly, I think it'll bring people in Canton, and we need that. So I'm excited to see that movement for sure. I know we participated, Tifa sang at 2nd April during Gospel Week, so we're very active participant in all the art things in Canton. We take advantage of it all as an organization and person. Yes.
So do you work like physically with the kids?
This in the summer I do, but in the fall and winter I have to be the executive director and go out and meet people, raise money, that kind of boring stuff. It's not my favorite part. But this summer when we're doing less, I get to drive the big van and hear all the testimonies in the van, and I love that.
So have you seen the art movement, like, have you seen it actively doing anything for Canton?
Yes. Like I said, we participate. And what I see on the outside looking into is that just like First Fridays, those are awesome. And we've actually participated here with Kathy did an art project. What's the story with the monsters?
Where the wild things are.
Yes, we did that. That was amazing. That brought in a lot of students from all over Stark County, which was exciting. The more they do for kids, and you might know this, the more families come in Canton to see this. So that, and Rod's doing a great job there. That's awesome that he offers a space for the art, and they even like live in Tuttle. Yeah, she has an art studio here that does a lot of things for families and kids. So it's finally drawing, which is exciting to me because I grew up in this area, and when I was a kid, this was a booming town. Palace Theater. I went there every Saturday to see a movie with my grandma. Okay. But and had milkshakes at Kresge. So yes, I'm excited to see it. All right, Paula. Yeah, Kresge's right now is a grassy field. I know, but they used to have the best milkshakes.
I used to go in there too. So.
I know, it was awesome.
Anything else, Genevieve?
What is the housing and meals?
You guys having a good time? How was the scavenger hunt? I love scavenger hunt.
It was pretty good. We drove around. Yeah, we drove around to different places, and there was just like little facts.
I go to Hoover.
guys didn't know each other.
No.
All right.
Okay, what motivates you about what you do?
Jump right on it.
Well, I would say there's two big things. First of all, we're here because we really feel like God wants us to love the people in our community. So God first and foremost. Even on the bad days when I don't feel like it, I know He's called us to be here. And I think that's really important, guys. Like, calling is everything. You know, when you feel called to do something, you'll be there, whether it feels good or not. Hard days, bad days, you know, chores like that. He's doing Tom time because he really feels called to do it. And I think the second thing is the people that God puts in your life. Like, they'll kind of keep you going when you want to quit. You ever felt like that, you know? And if you have friends around you, so. And I would say, you know, our church is called Love Canton. Well, God loves the people of Canton. And so I believe that God kind of put His love in here so that even when I don't feel it, like He's given me His love for people. And that's like a huge motivator, you know. So. Good question. Jeez.
What are you passionate about in changing people?
I think what I really want to see, write down the word discipleship. Like, I really want to see people living out what they say they believe about Jesus, about God. And I want to see, starting with me, people do that with others in relationships. So that, like, okay, so what we say is there's a group of people, there's somebody that really loves someone and they're in school, right? Or their neighborhood, or like nonprofit around here or something. And they start spending a lot of time there. And then they ask other people to join them and go with them. But then those people that joined them and came with them, I want them to turn around and do that with other people that they have. And pretty soon, it's really cool. It's going to like start spreading out all over the place. Businesses and schools and nonprofits, neighborhoods, all over the place. My sister, and I think that's how God works. He works through people. So I really want to see discipleship happen, which is all about relationships and passing basically God's love on through other people.
How did you decide to do what you do?
Well, I worked at a church, so I kind of knew, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But I would write this down. I just investigated Canton for a year. I spent a whole year and just kind of had my hands like this. I was like, okay, God, I know you want me to be here, but I have no clue about this city. You know how you can, like, be somewhere but not really be there? Well, that's kind of what it was like. Like, I lived in Canton, but I didn't know anything about it. So I did a lot about, like, what you guys did yesterday, you know? Like, I just met a lot of people and asked them what they did and why, where they were, you know? And I spent, like, a long time just kind of doing that. And the whole time I was like, okay, God, what's kind of like my part in that? Like, you can't do everything. Like, so what's the thing that's missing in all of this? So what's the part that maybe I can bring to the table? So I spent a long time investigating and listening, and trying to anyway. I'm not very good at it. And then back to the thing about I had other people speaking into my life too. It's really important that you have people that can tell you no or tell you not yet. Because I have like 100,000 ideas, right? So I have people around me that are always trying to like help me shape those ideas. That's like my part, is new things. And so I always have to have people around me that are like speaking into that stuff. Otherwise, I'll kind of go just do whatever. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's right. Yeah. So, are you guys like idea people? Yep. No. Yes. And you're not, and you are. That's why you guys need to talk. I have a lot of people around me that like they're not necessarily like new things or go first, but they're really good at seeing like the details or things that are missing. And I think when like what God wants us to do is do it together so that we don't miss it.
Or have explosions of awesomeness.
Yes. Too much awesomeness at one time though will just leave a wake of destruction. And I've done that before too.
Awesome, right. So what do you think about the art movement?
I think there's some incredibly creative people in Canton, and I think that there's the beginnings of a really incredible art culture in Canton. So I think that the initial things are there to get the ball rolling. I think that it's disjointed though. I that, but I do see like maybe the word fragmented, and that's not just for the art world. I see that in a lot of things. Like there's a lot of awesomeness all over the place, but no one's like. There's a lot of people that aren't working together, and if you can kind of somehow bring those things together, those people together, you can do a whole lot more.
So do you think it has potential to build and help?
I think it's a piece of it, yeah. But the art culture needs the business culture. The business culture needs the nonprofit culture. The nonprofits need the education. See, it all needs to work together, and you can't split it out. So the church culture is important, but that's just one more domain of all of this.
So did you have like passion for Canton before like people our age in high school or in high school?
No, I didn't live in Canton in high school, and so I didn't. But here's what God did put there. When somebody said, "What do you want to do with your life?" I was like, "I don't know." But I did say, "I just want to help people." I knew that. I just knew I wanted to help people. And then as I got to know people over time and like lived in Canton, it's almost like God put His love for people in my heart. So it's not me, it's Him. It's totally God's love. That's why I'm here.
So it could have been anywhere, right? Wherever he decided to put you.
It's like wherever He put me, but like
That's the
if He puts you in a spot, He'll give you the love to stay there and all the talent and ability and skills you need to do it well too. You know, it won't just be like mediocre.
So even though you didn't have any particular feeling about where you wanted to go, are you glad now that you stayed here?
Oh yeah, I love what I get to do. Even on the hard days, I'm just like, man, I get to do this. It's so awesome. And what happens is there'll be like other people that come around and share that same passion, you know? So as it grows, it's like a snowball. And once it's rolling, it's pretty awesome because Love Can is so much more than just me or me and my wife. There's so many people that are like, they're living this thing out, like in their neighborhood or where they live. You know, I could never, like the way that they do it. So I think our part was to go first and then get out of the way. And you know, and there are all kinds of people that kind of come by. Kind of like what you guys are doing this week.
So you leave the awesomeness, and then other people come in and use it to survive.
Share the awesomeness. Share it. If it's awesome, it's not just for you.